My name is Gus, Gus Coach English, and I'll be doing these live sessions every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. I want to talk about grammar, but in the future maybe I'll talk about other things. For the time being, I want to cover the verb tenses because there seems to be quite a lot of confusion and they are actually quite challenging in law. Let's start. Present perfect simple and present perfect continuous. So, are you familiar with the formula? Are you confident with the use of these verb tenses? Well, whether you are intermediate or advanced, this session is going to be suitable for you, and hopefully you will enjoy and learn something. Time to remind you that if you still have not subscribed to the channel, this is the right time for you to do it. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time I upload or create any new content. Let's have a look at the uses of these verb tenses. So I want you to look at this sentence. This girl, she looks exhausted, poor girl. So the sentence says, have you been working in the office all day? Because you look exhausted. Okay, so what verb tense do we have here in yellow? Present perfect continuous. And in green, we have a time marker. This is a question, okay? Another example, and then we can talk about them. This girl, she is writing something, but the sentence says, she has been writing the course since she started in this company 2 years ago. And at last, it is finished. So in both examples, this one and this one, we have a present perfect continuous. What kind of use do you think, guys, that we are giving the present perfect continuous here? Can you write it in the chat if you're there? Otherwise, you can write it in the comments if you watch this video any other time, because obviously I'm going to upload them. I'm going to make them available for you to watch them anytime you want. So let's have a look. The present perfect continuous is going to help us to talk about activities that are in progress until recently, or that have been in progress until recently, or have been in progress until the time of speaking. So in this particular example, the action has been in progress until recently. She has been writing the course, the course until recently. She has already finished it. Thank God for that. She's not writing it anymore. Whereas in this example, the present perfect continuous is being used to talk about an action in progress until the time of speaking, which is, imagine that I'm seeing her and I tell her, listen, have you been working all day? Because you really look exhausted. So, present perfect continuous to speak about actions or activities that are in progress until recently, or that have been in progress until recently, or until the time of speaking. Please note the use of the time markers, because in these particular examples, we use the time markers. Have you been working in the office all day? And in the other example, she has been writing the course since she started in this company 2 years ago. Time markers. Why? Because we want to emphasize and we want to say how long the activity has been in progress. Okay, because that's this particular use of the present perfect continuous to say how long an action has been in progress. But there is always a but. I'm gonna show you some verbs, and I want you to think about, is there anything special or anything particular about these verbs? Understand, belong, know, and like. While you think about that, I'm going to have a little sip from my coffee. What's special about these verbs? Well, let's have a look. So these verbs, they are used to talk about unchanging states. For example, these two girls, they look like they know each other. So Sanuka and Lisa have known each other for a long time. We are now using the present perfect continuous with the verb know, or with the verb belong or understand or like, because they are state verbs. Okay, so we can not use these kind of verbs with the continuous aspect. If you have studied the present simple and the present continuous, I'm sure you know this. I'm sure that you know this. What about this next example? I haven't been liking, can we say that? I haven't been liking this laptop since I bought it 2 years ago. Well, I'm sure that you know that we cannot use the verb like with ing, liking. So this sentence should be written, or in this sentence we should use a present perfect simple, not continuous. So I haven't liked this laptop since I bought it 2 years ago. Well, there you go. That's use number 1. What about this one? In this example, we see that the example that we have is he's broken his finger with the glass door and is in a lot of pain. So is this action happening or in progress? No, this action is completed. That's why we use the present perfect. He has broken his finger, but we can see the result of that event. So this action or this situation has finished or has been completed very recently. So recently that we can see the result. And he's got a bandage in his finger. This other example, I have been playing paddle and I need a shower. Again, we are not playing paddle right now. Here we are using the present perfect continuous. But this is a recently finished action, and the result that I have been playing paddle is that I need a shower, maybe a little bit smelly or sweaty, uncomfortable. So what is this telling us? That for recently finished actions, when we can see the result, we can use both the present perfect and the present perfect continuous. But there is always the but, guys. We have already said this. We can use present perfect, simple or continuous for something that has recently finished if we can still see the results. But here comes the but. Break and play. Again, are they the same kind of verbs? Because break, we used it with the present perfect, whereas play, we have used it with the present perfect continuous. I have been playing paddle and that's why I need a shower. Break, we used it with the present perfect. I have broken, or he has broken his finger. So, extended or repeated activity. Break. Is this an extended or repeated activity? Break. Can you be breaking your finger for over a period of time? Well, no. You break your finger in one specific moment, when you have the accident. So that's why we use the present perfect. Whereas play is more of a verb that you can do over an extended period of time. You can be playing paddle for 1 hour or for 2. Okay, so again, we can use present perfect simple or continuous for something that has recently finished if we can still see the result, but we have to be careful the kind of verb that we are using, because if the verb is referring to an extended activity, we prefer to use the present perfect continuous. But if on the contrary the verb is more of a punctual thing, something that happened in a specific moment, we should use the present perfect simple. So that's use number 2. Use number 3, present perfect continuous, when we want to or we draw conclusions. Imagine this. Imagine that you arrive at the office and you are usually a very organized person, but suddenly you realize that somebody has been messing around with your papers because they are not where you left them. So you're gonna draw a conclusion. Somebody has been messing around with my papers. They are all over the place. So we use this tense, the present perfect continuous, to draw conclusions, and usually when we want to complain or we want to criticize. Okay, that's use number 3, to draw a conclusion. Use number 4, present perfect. Well, prices have decreased by 7%. Present perfect. Why? Because the focus is on the result. 7%. That's the information that I am highlighting. So I use the present perfect. Prices have decreased by 7%. But, here we go again with the but. If we focus on the process, not the result, we can use both. We can use the present perfect, or the present perfect simple, or the present perfect continuous. Like, prices have been decreasing recently, or prices have decreased recently. Okay, as long as you do not focus on the result, you can use one or the other. It's only when you say that you focus on the result that you have to go for present perfect simple. Okay, and there is a mistake there. Present perfect, that comma, Okay, so I should have checked this. So sorry about that, guys. All right, so this is another use of the present perfect simple and the present perfect continuous. What else? Present perfect continuous, and this is almost the end. It's not a long lesson, thank God. The present perfect continuous emphasizes on a repeated or on an ongoing action or activity. This is, I suppose that this is a little bit obvious, Present perfect continuous emphasizes a repeated action or ongoing activity. Whereas, for example, Miguel has been using the printer all day, ongoing. He's been using it all day, repeated action. Whereas the present perfect simple, the activity happened only once or a specific number of times. For example, Miguel has broken the printer 3 times so far. Miguel has broken the printer 3 times so far. Well, and that is all for today. That's all I have. Lesson about present perfect continuous and present perfect simple done. If you want more lessons like this, don't forget to join me every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Madrid local time. I'll be covering from now until the end as much grammar as we can. For the time being, verb tenses. After that, you decide.